is time. The awakening is happening. 2026 is a couple of days away, and things will never be the same. I saw it like a storm in my sleep last night. The year coming, 2026. Fire stacked on fire, cities folding in on themselves, skies splitting open. Not just one disaster, multiplying like seeds in dry soil.
Shalom, I hope you all are doing well. I'm blessed and I'm back again with just a quick video. Well, 2026 is right around the corner, and I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about how it correlates with the apocalypse of Abraham and the 10 plagues. This is not about predicting the end of the world, and it's not about fear. It's about pattern. Ancient writings show us something consistent. When a society reaches a point where truth is rejected, order collapses layer by layer, not all at once. In the apocalypse of Abraham, Abraham is shown visions, not dates, but conditions. And those conditions mirror what already happened in ancient Egypt. These are not random punishments, but as systems breaking down when alignment with the Most High is lost. In the 10 plagues of the apocalypse of Abraham, he speaks of a vision of sorrow for much need. That is an instant disaster, it's prolonged strain, people working harder, yet lacking more. The next plague is fiery conflagration of cities, not just fire, but unrest, destruction, and the consuming nature of chaos when societies turn against themselves. There is pestilence among cattle, which in Scripture represents economic collapse and food instability. When livestock fails, supply chains fail. Then comes famine of the world, not always sudden starvation, but scarcity, inflation, and hunger spreading unevenly. Destruction by earthquake and the sword follows, meaning both natural instability and human violence, disaster paired with conflict. The writings speak of hail and snow increasing, abnormal weather, unseasonal events, disruption of predictable cycles. It even speaks of wild beasts becoming graves. This imagery shows how normal boundaries collapse when what once stayed contained begins to intrude. There is mention of pestilence and hunger changing their destruction, meaning crises don't come one way. Pestilence becomes economic pressure. Economic pressure becomes social breakdown, and social breakdown becomes violence. Then there's execution by the sword, flight, and distress, meaning not everyone will be suffering the same way, but many displaced, anxious, and unsettled. And finally, voices of thunder and destroying earthquakes. In Scripture, thunder is not just sound. It represents warning, authority, and announcement. So here's why the years matter, not because of a number, but because of what has already been set in motion. 2025 was not a beginning, it was an acceleration. A year where pressure increased quietly, where systems showed strain without fully breaking, where signs appeared, but many dismissed them as temporary. Scripture shows us that judgment, correction, and refinement do not arrive suddenly. They stack, they compound, and they progress. What was introduced in one season becomes intensified in the next. So when we talk about 2026, we are not talking about something new. We are talking about continuation.
I think 2026 is going to see the biggest collapse of the corporate world in the history of business, because
no doubt. I
think this is going to be, and we should have maybe an end of year perspective and some predictions, but
yeah, we'll do that.
For all of the madness we've seen in 2025, it's like this is the slowest it's ever going to be, and 2026 is going to be 10x to 50x to 100x crazier.
What caused distress before will cause displacement later, and what caused anxiety before will cause movement later. Execution by the sword, flight, distress. Scripture shows that not everyone suffers the same way or at the same time. Some feel it in their bodies, some feel it in their homes, some feel it in their finances, and some feel it in their peace. But the common thread is unsettling, a sense that stability is no longer guaranteed. that what once felt firm now feels uncertain. And then come the voices of thunder. In the scripture, thunder is not chaos, it's an announcement. It is authority making itself known. Thunder comes before action, before movement, and before change. And earthquakes, not just of the ground, but of systems, beliefs, and structures, shake what cannot endure. The earth responds when order is ignored too long. So 2026 is not about fear of collapse. It is about exposure. What is built on sand begins to shift, and what is built with a mixture begins to crack. What is built in pride becomes unstable, and what is built in alignment quietly, humbly, and obediently remains. This is why preparation matters now. Not hoarding, not to panic, but positioning, slowing down, strengthening homes, clearing distractions, and choosing discernment over noise. We must remember that the scripture never tells the watchful to be afraid. It tells us to stand, to watch, and to endure. Standing does not mean resisting everything. It means being rooted, grounded in truth when opinions shift, grounded in obedience when cultures drift. Watching does not mean obsession. It means discernment, recognizing patterns without being consumed by them, seeing clearly without surrendering your peace. In regards to endurance, endurance is not passive survival. Endurance is faithful over time. It is choosing alignment when it would be easier to blend in. It is maintaining integrity when pressure increases. It is remaining steady when others grow restless. As things continue to tighten up, you're going to see why this season matters. Not because everything is ending tomorrow, but because what you build now determines how you stand later. The Most High has always preserved a remnant, not by removing us from this world, but by strengthening us while we're in it. And that is the posture of the watchful, calm, sober, and prepared, not shaken by every rumor, and not ruled by fear, but guided by wisdom. Get ready, as this is the season that we must endure. May you not be ruled by fear, but anchored in understanding. May you recognize the signs without being shaken by them. May your home be ordered, your spirit settled, and your heart clear. When the noise increases, may your discernment sharpen. When the ground feels unstable, may your foundation remain firm. And when others rush in confusion, may you walk steadily, neither asleep nor alarmed, but awake and at peace. This is how the watchful endure. This message isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to steady you. Take what resonates, sit with it, pray over it. Pay attention, not to just the world, but to your home, your habits, and your spirit. This is a time of preparation, and it looks like clarity. Sometimes it looks like restraint, and sometimes it looks like peace. Stay watchful, stay grounded, and above all, endure with wisdom. May the Most High Baruch all who are deserving, and may He keep you in perfect peace, so that you may endure until the end. Thank you all for listening, and may the Most High keep you safe in this hour. And until my next video, Shalom.
All right, so we're in the apocalypse of Abraham. And this is why they don't want you reading these other books, man, because they give you too much information. They give you too much information. All right, so let's go to verse 30. And while he was still speaking, I found myself on the earth, and I said, Eternal, mighty one, I am no longer in the glory in which I was above, and all that my soul desired to understand in my heart, I do not understand. And he said to me, I'll explain to you the things you desired in your heart, for you have sought to know the 10 plagues, which I prepared against the heathen, and I prepared them beforehand in the passing of the 12 hours on earth. Hear what I tell you, it will be thus. The first, sorrow from much need. The second, fiery conflagrations for the cities. The third, destruction by pestilence among the cattle. The fourth, famine of the world of their generation. The fifth, among the rulers, destruction by earthquake and the sword. The sixth, increase of hail and snow. The seventh, wild beasts will be their grave. The eighth, pestilence and hunger will change their destruction. The ninth, execution by the sword and flight in distress. The 10th, thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes. What's interesting is that a few days ago, actually, there was I think it was like a 7.3 earthquake that happened in Alaska, I think. So you see how all these things pretty much happening right now, and it's just increasing.